your boy Deontay the Bronx from Milwaukee.
What's up, guys? This is Uriah Faber.
What's up, guys? Stephen One Boy Thompson.
It's the IBF champion, Earl Smith Jr.
This is Cynthia Calvio.
Hi, this is Michaela Mayer.
This is Derek the Black Beast Lewis.
This is Daniel Miracle Man Jacob. Shout out to Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to
the Slip and Dip podcast
With your boy Kendrick and Matt.
And you're listening to Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Kendrick and Matt on the Slip and Dip podcast.
Oh, beautiful, man.
Woo! Episode 78, Slip and Dip podcast.
80.
Kendrick Johnson.
80.
Episode
80. Go ahead.
Holding it down in D-Town. I got my stuff together. I don't know about my co-host. Fresh off the heels of UFC 231. Big props to Max Holloway and Valentina Shevchenko for putting down championship performances. I wasn't surprised about Max Holloway. I don't know about you. Props to Pete City for being a tough dude, making the doctor have to come in and stop him and taking his ass whooping like a man. He kept coming. He was game. But skills pay the bills. Hard can only get you so far. And Max got a few more tools in the tool shed than Mr. T City. But props to him. Because the one time he had that opening, dude, that transition he had was so sick, just to show you how dangerous he was. It's like being on a video game, he had one bar left, and he still almost pulled it out.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Brian Ortega is game as they come, man. He is as game as they come. Unfortunately, man, like, Max Holloway's just that dude. Like, Max Holloway's just that much better. And it's crazy how he can have this whole medical issue go on where nobody really knows what happens. He doesn't know what happens. Doctors don't know what happens. Whatever, comes back, a couple months later, and then, like, he never lost a step. Like, nothing. Actually looked even better than before. Scary. Like, his hand speed, amazing. In there taunting, just feeling like he was in that flow state early. And against a guy like Brian Ortega, who's dangerous, man. So dangerous everywhere. Impressive stuff from Max Holloway, man.
I wasn't shocked. A lot of people were shocked. Like, it was a pick'em fight.
Exactly.
But your pick'em was because if T City could pull off some crazy submission. I didn't. When I saw the pattern of the fight was going to be on the feet, I knew it was going to be good for T City.
Yeah, the thing was, like you said, it was a pick'em fight coming in, and Max Holloway made it look like he was a minus 3,000 favorite, at least in parts. The thing with Ortega, man, I saw a graph that came out right before the fight, or a couple of days before the fight, where it's talking about like the strike differential, and Max Holloway was like way up here at the top of the graph, like in the green where you need to be, and Brian Ortega was way down here, like he takes too many shots for the ones that he gives. And usually, like, striking stats, like, I don't pay all that much attention to like strikes landed per minute in MMA because all that shit really doesn't matter to me. But like that graphic in particular,
we start getting to this level where it do.
I mean, yeah, like that graphic kind of stuck out to me because I was like, man, you don't want to be a guy that takes a lot of punches against Max Holloway. No. Like those striking.
239?
Yeah. I mean, on the low end, whatever. I think they miscounted a few. He was piecing him up so bad. And the thing is, Ortega was countering nicely, man. I tweeted that out too. He was countering nicely, but the problem was he was eating 6-7 shots before he threw one back.
He was like eating about 3. He was like eating 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was really like a good 3 or 4, like no exaggeration. And then he would counter nicely and then come back. But man,
Why won't they let this man Max enjoy his victory? He should move up to the lightweight. No, he don't want those problems because as good as takedown defense, that's not going to work against Habib. And I don't know if his power going because it's not like he's got a one-hitter quitter power. That volume and stuff, you get into a slugfest with Conor or Tony, they ain't going nowhere. They're going to be right there trading with you. Yeah,
I mean, you know, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, man. Everybody is always so quick to change up things. You know, it's like as soon as the thing's over, what's next? What's next? You can't soak anything in. You can't soak it in.
But if he's that guy though, my bad.
Nah, yeah.
If he's that guy though, he gonna have to do something 155 because that precedent's been said.
Yeah.
You a Pantheon great unless you win it like 12 times in the same class and you gotta lead the company like DJ because you didn't clean it out. You better be moving up in some weight classes.
Of course. And listen, it's only a matter of time before Max Holloway ends up at 155 because if you are a 145-pound champion and you can't fight the 155-pound champion on a week's notice because you're that much bigger than 145, like, you're going to move up sooner or later. And he needs to move up now, to be honest with you. There's really nothing else all that intriguing left at 145 for him, so I might as well run it back. Like, the Conor and Holloway fight, if it happens, it ain't happening at 145 again. So, might as well go ahead and make that jump up to 155. I mean, what is it? Unless he's trying to, you know, get a title record or something. Like, there's no reason for you to cut that weight.
Oh, from a health perspective, yeah, but people want to sit there because he beat an older Aldo. He still, to me, needs to do a little bit more before he can.
Yeah, if you're talking about like legacy and stuff like that with the championships, yeah, sure, I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that. If he's gonna be the best 145 of all time, he still needs some work to do.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, like. Yes and no. Like, this was the argument that popped up, right? Because he beat Jose Aldo twice, like clean. Like his toughest fight
after Conor.
Yeah, after Conor, but I mean,
when that jar's open,
but still,
he walked through that door.
It wasn't like Jose was like completely washed. Jose went out there and beat Frankie. Jose showed he still got some game to him, but like. You know, I mean, I'm just not that sure. Like, what else is there for Holloway at 145?
Chad Mendes, maybe Jeremy Stevens.
Who just lost.
Yeah, just lost. Yair Rodriguez, maybe, and that's about it.
I mean, Frankie's out there, but...
And that Great Britain dude everybody keep talking about, that Volkanovski cat, but he ain't fought nobody really.
Yeah, he's
French top 10.
He's still 2 fights away. 2 fights away.
And Miles Jury's always dangerous, but he don't fight but once a year.
Yeah.
But that's being nice far as people. I like look at the list down for the top 15 fighters. Mm-hmm. The ones I'd be interested in that he has not fought already is Chad Mendes, the Miles Jury, or that
Miles Jury's not in the top
guy.
15.
Huh?
Miles Jury's not in the top 15 though.
Yeah, Volkanovski and Chad Mendes actually fight coming up. So
yeah, I'm done. I'm done with 45 for Max. I'm sorry. Like I'm just not that interested in anything. 155 though, you got a whole list of things that are a lot more interesting. You got Khabib, you got Tony, you got Conor again, you got literally the entire top 15. Let me see Max Holloway get in there against. I would be, except for Francisco Trinaldo, and I mean I'm good with that. But like
that'd be crazy. He fought our man James Vick.
Yeah, like James Vick, like against a much taller guy like Chiesa. I mean another guy that would be a ground like wrestler. Like Nate's a good fight, man. That would be crazy. Like,
that'd be a crazy fight.
Essentially, Max Holloway is the Hawaiian Diaz, basically, right? Like we saw a lot of that same like taunting style throughout the fight. Like when he hit him, like when he kind of rocked Ortega early, he hit him with the like wobbling while he was kind of following him. Like, oh man, this dude.
Why is everybody getting so hyped about that? I guess because we see that in boxing all the time.
Nah,
I don't see it in MMA, but you see it in boxing all the time.
Anytime a guy's in there feeling himself like that, I mean, that's part of the showboating, man. You got to get excited about that. You got to get excited about it. Like that just showed like when you do it and then
call your shot. Hey Joe, I'm about to end the show.
Yeah, and
that was more impressive than the showboating to me.
Now and later on YouTube says Hanato Moicano, who did weigh in as the backup for this fight. I mean, I guess he does deserve the shot. If anybody deserves a shot at Max Holloway, it's him. And sure, go ahead. Let's go ahead and run Renato Moicano, who missed weight, by the way. How are you a backup fighter and you miss weight? So essentially, like, how does that, like, because he gets paid for showing up to make weight. So does he get 30% of like what he's supposed to get paid? I don't know how that works. I wish I was there to ask that question. I didn't see anybody else pose it this week. But how are you a backup fighter? You show up, you cut weight, knowing that you're probably not going to fight, and then you miss weight. And I get, like, Max talked about it after the fight in the post-fight scrum. He was like, I mean, how do you really, like, get motivated for that? Especially if you have a tough weight cut.
And he lost to T-City.
Yeah, exactly. It's, you know, it's tough. It's a tough spot. I'm good with that. Let's do Moicano, and then let's see Max Holloway go up to 155, no matter the result of that fight. No matter the result of that fight. No matter the result. Yeah, no matter the result. Let's open up the 145-pound division again. Let's see somebody else claim that belt. And then let's see Max fighting in a more natural weight form, a more healthy weight, should I say. More healthy weight. What's cracking now?
You in the weight cuts, boy. You in the weight cuts.
I mean, it's stupid. Like, we wouldn't have the need for a backup fighter if we didn't have stupid-ass weight cuts. Because the only reason we have backup fighters is because fighters fall out due to what? Complications with their weight cut.
But that's on them, though. That's the fighter's responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, that's still, like, you know, the UFC is obviously an influence on that as well. They tell guys where they want them to fight. So if the fighters are like, oh, I want to move up, and the UFC will be like, oh, we're not going to give you a fight then. That's a thing that happens. So, you know, unless if the fighters had some sort of union that they could all stand together on and support each other and have each other's backs.
What you think about the co-main?
Co-main. Man, co-main event was incredible.
Props to JJ, she just fought a bigger version of herself.
Hey,
if she fights that way against the rest of the division, she wins.
Valentina, it was only a matter of time before she got that strap around her waist, man. She got it done. Like you said, a bigger version of Joanna, but with better takedown ability. And really just, I mean, there wasn't too much to this fight other than Valentina was just quicker to the punch. She got the takedowns. I don't know which round people gave gave Joanna, because a lot of people scored. All three judges scored a round for Joanna, and I don't understand that at all.
I think that's like the third or the fourth, because she was slowing down in mid rounds. She slowed down after the second round. She was noticeably slowing down.
But she was still in there getting a clinch. She was getting her down on the ground. She was landing more.
She didn't get her down the ground after the second round?
Yes, she did. There were takedowns. There were takedowns.
Third round.
But
last two rounds she didn't get it. The championship round she didn't get taken down.
As I'm watching the fight unfold, and of course everybody on Twitter is like, "Yep, Valentina's pitching a shutout." I guess that was like almost a mercy round, because it was like whatever round it was. I don't even know, because these scorecards in Canada, they don't, or at least for this event, they did not show the round by round breakdown. They just showed the total score on the scorecard, which is criminal to me. That's criminal to me. We need to know what round you scored for which fighter. How are you going to do that to us? I'm serious.
Yeah, they got different stuff in Canada.
You're just going to throw out a score at the end of it? Like, I mean, most of the media members do that, but we're not official. You know, we're not an official scorecard. So,
yeah, I think we see JJ maybe 2 more times in the octagon, and she hangs it up. There's nothing else she can do. She's one of the top 3 to 4 fighters of all time, and go on by her merry way.
How about what she did at the post fight? Did you see this?
No, I did not see.
You didn't see this? So I'll pull up my tweet real quick. But you know Joanna, how she has her post fights. She does her post fight press conferences. She shows up.
Remember, she got mad at me for asking her about. Are you trying to say I need to retire?
Nah.
She got hot.
Yeah, no, you know she shows up no matter what, right?
Yeah.
And so this was the thing, right? One of the questions were asked to her: will you ever go back down to 115? And it was her answer was only. No, there's nobody. It's just a GIF. I made the GIF. She was asked, are you going back to 115? And she said, only for a title shot. Only for a title shot will I go back down to that. And then literally, that was the last question. And then literally she was like, Chelsea was over there. She was like, yo, can I get that pizza? It's so funny.
No, I would say it's not funny. I'm like, okay, but the first time I met her was after she whooped Carlos Esparza's ass, and I hadn't been up on her the whole. Cause I didn't cover that fight. I literally came just for that fight night, and we're at the airline center in the VIP club, and she was like throwing down on the brownies after she had whooped her ass with the belt on the shoulder. Literally, she got belt on the shoulder, on this shoulder, and she eating 2 brownies with the other hand.
Yeah, it's so funny though, because you're talking about how like. Cutting weight and everything, and then she's like, "Yeah, let me get some food though." It was just funny. It was a funny moment, but she always shows up, man. You gotta love Joanna. She's always gonna show up, win or lose.
She's definitely a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, she'll take some questions. She doesn't care.
Down goes Jared Goff.
She'll take the questions. She doesn't. It doesn't matter. And yeah, man, 125. This was also one of the things like, what people were at the press conference were talking about how. Oh, she doesn't look undersized. I'm like, okay,
it's a strength advantage because somebody did a good stat. One of these MMA analytics fools. I'm not an analytics person, but shout out to you for doing your work. And Aaron tweeted it out. Aaron Bonstein there. Shout out to him for doing a hell of a job this week with TSN. That 7 out of the 8 fights, the winner has been somebody that's fought at bantamweight coming down versus somebody fighting the strawweight coming up to 125 because they're naturally the bigger person, but nobody won't talk about that. All you guys see is that takedown. That shit's not happening in bantamweight for that Valentina. That takedown with no form, that's just bully. Get your little ass down. Bam.
Yeah.
That was nothing but I'm bigger than you, bring your ass down.
Right.
Actually, both were the first and the second round were like that. It had nothing to do with technique. She was just simply a bigger person. And then Joanna, to her credit, could get up. But when she got against that cage, she couldn't do like she did Rose and shake off because she got somebody bigger hanging on, and she still got out, but it took a whole 2 minutes, a lot more energy, and just not the same.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like with the press conference thing, man, like you said, Joanna was showing up as Johnny and Jacek. Valentina was cutting weight, so she looked smaller. And Joanna was also wearing heels. That's why she also looked a little bit bigger. So I was like you don't understand. Like, Valentina's thicker. She's going to look bigger. She's going to be thicker. She's going to be stronger on the night of the fight. I just didn't, understand why people were like, oh, she doesn't look undersized. I'm like, yeah.
No, she's not undersized for 125. But
against Valentina, yeah, she is.
Against Valentina, yeah. But for the division, she's not.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Because there's so many girls that came down from 135. And Joanna's not a big girl.
Like, for instance, somebody Jessica Evil Eye. I don't think Jessica Evil Eye could bully her like that. Even though
she could. But that's not her fighting style. But she could if she had that. If she had a clinch game like that, size-wise, she could absolutely do the same thing. But that's just not her game.
And another thing, why is MMA the only damn sport in the world where somebody can be barely in the top 10 and demand to fight the champion or fight and get a title shot in this case, like Jessica I know? It's like you can't beat Texas. Hey, we want Alabama next. We want a big game. We beat OU. It don't work that way, but only in MMA. You can't do that shit in boxing, really.
Especially after split decision and decision.
Yeah, you not even. I can kind of see if you if Greg Hardy come in and drop 3 nobodies. Hey, we'll see him fight Stipe. We got some interest. You can kind of do that because that's a shallow division. But these people making these title shots and don't got no resumes. I miss me with that.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
And then you got people and you got 170 where you got some people with some legit resumes. Nah, you're not exciting. Yeah, you got a resume, but you're not exciting.
Yeah, Jessica currently sitting 9th in the rankings before the update comes out. I mean, listen, that division, women's flyweight division, is kind of a mess, honestly. We don't know when or if Nico is ever going to fight again. Nico Montano, the first ever champion. Were you just doing Valentina's bit?
Did you see what's called throw some shade her way? Valentina basically said
the whole press conference. Yes, I saw that.
I didn't see the press conference, but she basically said, "I'm glad I fought a real opponent for the belt. It means so much more than me. I know Joanna is a champion." She it's like Nico, she's dismissed her so bad.
She threw all the shade at Nico in the post-fight press conference. So many shots at her, crazy. Basically. Dude straight up asked her, he's like, do you see yourself fighting against the way the question was posed was like, you're now the 2nd women's flyweight champion. Would you fight the first? And her answer was, who is that? Flat out, and that's it. And the guy was like, that answers my question. I was like, you're damn right it does.
That version, the version we saw Valentina last night definitely wins. I think she might stop Nico.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Nico is very good at what she does, but it just seems like
skills pay the bills, just like we talk about T-City. Heart can only get you so far, guys. Heart can only get you so far. Trying hard can only get you so far.
Exactly. Exactly. So Caitlin Chukagian's number 3, and she just lost last night. Sajara should get a title shot, I guess. I mean, she's coming off a win, albeit it was a decision, but hey, she's the only one up there that's got a dub in the top 5. Alexis Davis is, I don't know what she's doing, but let's be real. Alexis Davis has had multiple titles. Well, not multiple, but she had a shot at the Ronda Rouseys. Liz Carmouche had a shot at the Ronda Rouseys. And I know it's 125 now, not 135, but we're talking a few years after those title shots, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to do against Valentina right now. I mean, I think Sajara is the best matchup for Valentina going forward.
Yeah, Valentina is she's set up to be rated for quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to, crap on Jessica Eye or anything. I like her. I like her game. I like her boxing skills. But go out there and get a finish. But yeah, and decisively win a fight, and then I'll be like, then I could march, with you on that title shot.
Well, look at this way. Valentina could easily lay claim to 135 title because I actually had to beat her, man. In this,
of course,
it's 3-2. So
of course,
it's like
I ain't arguing with that. She beat Holly, so I mean, it's like, for some reason the website right now has, I don't know what they're doing with this. Look at this. Amanda Nunes, champion. Jermaine Duranami, number 1. Holly Holm, number 1. Okay, so we got 2 number 1s in the women's bantamweight division right now, according to UFC.com. Interesting. Very interesting.
I'm very interested in UFC 232. Our girl Kat and Megan Anderson, or Megan.
Megan. It's Megan. Don't say Megan. She'll get mad at you.
She's a thick chick.
Yeah. That'll be a good fight. It'll be a good fight. I'm not sure exactly where that puts either one of them, for the win. But it should be a good fight. Before we look ahead, though, I mean, what else last night stood out to you? Did anything else stood out to you? I know something that stood out to me. A couple things, actually.
Speaking of Amanda Nunes, her girlfriend Nina, that was a good win. She did what she had to do to win the rounds. When the money was on the table, it was nothing spectacular. But she's like, somebody's like, hey, you do A, B, and C. She did A, B, and C. I had to win 29-28.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Elite is right. Elite's commenting on our YouTube. Sajara did move to 135. I forgot about that.
Whoa.
Forgot about that.
She didn't want those problems.
No, she's a big girl, too, though. She's
but she don't got the skill for 135ers.
We'll see. We'll see. Let me see it. Let me see it first. Yeah, shout out to Nina, man. Little story, when UFC was in town here in Dallas, when Tyron fought Darren Till, after the fight, hung out with Dean Thomas in the lobby of the Fighter Hotel.
Dean, I'm going to hit you up this week.
For a few hours, right? For a few hours. So we were just sitting there chopping it up for a few hours, talking about everything. And I just brought it up. I was like, man, Nina's got a big one coming up, right? Against Claudia. I was like, she can be ready for that? 5 minutes later, Dean convinced me she could get it done. Like, all right, I'll take your word for it, Dean. Sure enough, she went out there and did her thing, working that jab, sitting behind the jab, stopping takedowns, making Claudia not even thinking about a takedown. You know?
Nothing flashy. Just did what she did the 0-1-2 all night long, and it works.
Hey, it works. It works. As long as you can sit behind it and get it done, get your hand raised, shoot. That's all you need to do.
And she's way more slicker than I gave her credit for. I didn't know she's that slick.
Absolutely. 2 more things that stood out to me on this card. Thiago Santos, Jimmy Manuwa. That fight was insane. Insane.
I guess I never took Jimmy Manuwa serious. It's my story time. The first time I saw Jimmy Manuwa fight was let me pull out his record so I can get the exact card. Was at UFC 191 when he fought Rumble. And Rumble texts to be like going to the fight. He says, "Say, bro, I'm gonna knock him out. We're gonna hang out afterwards." Okay, cool. Knocks him out. He calls up me and my fiance there at the time, now wife, and hey man, come with me and my girlfriend and some of my buddies and meet us at a strip club. I need to do an interview with him, and this is the whole gym thing. And he fine, we go hang out in the strip club, Crazy Horse Street in Las Vegas. Hang out there, get VIP treatment for like 2 or 3 hours. I still don't got the interview. It's like 3 o'clock Vegas time, so it's late.
Yeah.
Hey, man, can I do the interview? All right, man. So we're from the Crazy Horse Street banner, a.k.a. the Gentleman's Club. And I'm sitting there talking. He's like breaking it down and talking about the yoga mat and all that stuff. And then I wake up the next day. It was like one of my first videos that kind of gets some traction. I think I had 10,000 views because he ain't never talked about that.
Right, yeah.
That kind of put me on the map with MMA people. Before then, I was just a brother. I'll be PC. I was just a brother at the fights.
I mean, that was a big moment. That was a huge moment actually. Like outside of the cage, and it was that whole Rumble thing at that time. So yeah, that was definitely a good get for sure. But man, like this fight, man, was insane. Like I don't think either one of these guys, I don't think Jimmy or Thiago Santos threw a punch that wasn't a fight ender. They were all swinging haymakers, and they were landing.
I think he woke up Jimmy literally and after one of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. But Santos was out there just button mashing. This dude was throwing wheel kicks, and then as soon as that kick landed, throwing another kick, and then following up with a spinning back.
Like he hurt himself by missing. Like he did the wheel kick, he missed. It's like his energy was like, and then he had to like get it back up like in a video game, and then he went for the finish when he got it all built back up.
Yes, it was so fun.
That was a good stop. Shout out to the referee for the good stop.
It was. I mean, because you know how big those dudes are, and you saw how hard they were swinging. It was just like whoa, like somebody's going out. I didn't think it was gonna make it out of the first round. You know, whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, Elite Kendrick pulled an aerial when he walked in waited all night at Floyd Strip Club. So true. So true.
Hey, but I'm not even laughing about that. I will switch sports for a minute. Shout out to the Chicago Bears defense playing Jared Goff in the fantasy football. Guess how many points he had? Not one, not two, but a negative .30.
Was the game over?
Game over with. He threw 4 picks. Wow. And your boy got a 40-point lead headed into tomorrow. Yeah. Go get this money.
Feeling good about that.
$500 on the line. Yeah, I'm hyped. Go get this money.
But yeah, back to the fight, man. That was one of the craziest fights of the year, even though it only lasted, just a few seconds into the second round. Crazy fight. Jimmy Manuwa, I mean, listen, whenever he steps into the cage, it's gonna be crazy. He's still 17-5, but it just seems like, I mean, look at it. Three fight losing streak now. 3-fight losing streak. 2 by TKO, 1 by a decision against Jan Blachowicz.
Hey, Rumble opened up that gate, man.
Of course he did. But that was one of the last things I did want to talk on that card. There was one other thing, real quick. Which was it? Alex Oliveira, Gunnar Nelson, man. Looks good. I mean, he said he had a slow start.
Do you really think he can beat somebody at 170 that's in the top 5? Like, I don't.
I think Alex Oliveira.
I think people just like because he's got he's a foreigner and he's got a nice little story. Like, no, bro, you're not elite. You're not elite.
I disagree.
Who was he beating? Let's check his resume.
His jiu-jitsu is elite level jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, but who gonna play that game with him?
Hey, I mean, it's all about getting him down there. And the thing is, like, he starts so slow. If he can fix that, if he can fix his slow starts, he can definitely beat these guys in the top 10. I mean, he was scheduled to fight Neil Magny, and that got canceled. He goes out there, gets the win over Alex Oliveira. Other wins were Alan Joban, Tumanov, Brandon Thatch. I mean, these are, fringe top 15 guys for the most part. But, like I said, if he can fix that slow starting thing, and maybe mixing his striking a little bit better, which is coming along nicely.
I mean, it'll be a good matchup, but he have anybody with some power, a la the Ponzinibbio fight. You see what happened. Yeah. He don't want those problems.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, Ponzinibbio. I mean, hell, he's knocking on the door of a title shot. So
yeah,
he's surging.
He may believe out of me the way he blasted our man Neil.
Yeah,
he may believe out of me. Yeah,
he's definitely surging for a title shot, and I mean, like I said, Gunnar is. He's underrated in some people's eyes, but man, that jiu-jitsu is elite, and very few people have it at that level.
Oh, I'll give him that. I'm not saying he can't fight, but it's called MMA, not BBJ.
Yeah, it's true. Shout out to Brad Katona getting his hand raised, friend of the show, been on the show a couple times.
All he does is win.
But hey, got his hand raised, and I think got a little revenge on James Lynch and Mario Kart. Yeah. But, yeah, man, 231 was a fun card. Fun card to watch. The main card was awesome. Hakeem Dawodu got his hand raised, but that fight was very forgettable.
What's the big hype with him? Like, he's a talented fighter, but he's not special.
There's not too many Canadian prospects in the game right now.
Actually, like, he has potential, but I don't think he's special.
Yeah.
He's a solid fighter.
He's very young, got a lot of potential, like you said. And it's, like I said, coming from Canada. You know, there's not too many prospects to kind of hang your hat on right now. And he's one of the guys that they're getting behind. So kudos to that. Looking ahead, UFC-wise, UFC 232 coming up on the 29th to close out the year. John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson 2, Cyborg Nunes. Boy, I don't even want to see the rest of the card. Just fast forward me to the co-main and the main event.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what's going to happen, right? We're going to see a clinic get put on by Amanda Nunes, and we're going to see John Jones stop Gustafsson. If he's halfway into it, and the dude was on cocaine and did what he did last time, and still, if he's halfway motivated, yeah, Gus gonna be in for a long night, and it won't go a full 25 minutes.
I agree with you on that. I don't know if I agree with the clinic by Nunes portion. No,
I'm talking about Cyborg.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Once again, she trains with Clarissa Shields, a.k.a. the best boxer, female boxer in the world. Ain't nothing none of these ladies, including Nunes, can throw at her that she can't see. And another thing about that, besides the skill level, is Clarissa Shields is 23. Cyborg's 32 going on 33. So the athleticism that she's seeing, none of these women have possessed any of that. So all the butt whooping she's seeing in training and getting hit in the head is all for when she show up on December 29th and puts on the clinic on how you cut off an octagon, since most people don't know how to do that, males included.
Of course. It's a skill. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing because I think it's maybe because guys, you know, spar so much where it's like, you know, you have your friendly sparring sessions where you're going like 30%, 20% light sparrings. And maybe it's like kind of a thing, like when you actually get into the fight, you get into that mentality of like, all right, I'm going to, you know, throw a combo and let's reset. And they forget to cut off. Like, I don't know if that's it or if they just don't really know how to do it. I don't know.
I like, you see people like circle people. It's like, what do you be watching tape and doing? Like, you literally see dudes like go in a big circle. Yeah. It's like, what are y'all MFers doing?
And sometimes a guy that is aggressive and landing the more strikes needs the energy. So, you know, maybe he's.
And another thing about Cyborg too that people don't realize is she's a legit star. I've seen her at the ESPYs, and she got like NFL players. Oh my gosh, it's Chris Cyborg. I ain't gonna tell what's player, and there was two of them that did that. Like, she's that lady. Last night, shout out to Clarissa Shields trying to get her on the show. Clarissa Shields, she walked into the ring, and people was excited to see Clarissa Shields. They will see her and one of the best lady boxers in the world. I can't pronounce her name. She's from Norway, and she like people. Her and Clarissa Shields are 1A and 1B. She's like, I see Cyborg here. I want to talk to her. Maybe we can fight. Like, she's that lady. People understand she's that lady. She's a boss.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And at 33, you're supposed to be slowing down. See, like, she's extending her career by humbling herself to be able to work on these skills. Because if she didn't have the skills that she's acquired over the last year, she wouldn't be able to. Because remember, what she used to do, she's known for first round, just mauling people. She can't do that as much no more because she's lost a step.
Yeah.
So she's hitting you with this and still carrying the 1-2, but she's breaking you down versus just overwhelming you.
Yeah. I mean,
ask Holly Holm about her breaking you down.
Exactly. There's a reason where she is, man. And if you've ever watched one fight, like, you see all these things you're talking about. Like, it's so apparent. So apparent.
And that's the GWOAT, as Clarissa Shields calls her, the GWOAT.
The GWOAT.
GWOAT.
Hilarious. Man, also on Saturday night, right as Valentina Shevchenko was putting that work on Yoni and J-Chat,
Clarissa Shields was doing her thing. Props to HBO. I didn't realize HBO did.
Lomachenko.
Huh?
I was talking about Lomachenko.
I didn't see the whole fight. I did see the highlights of the 11th round. He pieced him up like he was T-City.
Like Max Holloway in the 4th round of T-City. That's exactly what that looked like, man. He was out there, like, the crowd was going crazy. Like, everybody was hoping for a stoppage. It didn't come. But Lomachenko, man, it was funny because I remember in the very first round, I forget what commentator it was. I was watching both UFC and this fight as well, trying to, you know, listen to both and watch both. But one of the commentators on the Lomachenko fight was like, in the first round, this is where Lomachenko was just downloading your information. and that's exactly what it looked like too, because that's right as he was saying that, Lomachenko was just doing this kind of thing, like just looking around at you, like downloading the information. And as that fight progressed, he started in and out real quick, keeping those hands up and like close. Like that's one thing a lot of people don't really pay attention to all that often. Guys like Lomachenko, guys like Max Holloway, even the Diaz brothers, they don't throw punches at 100%, right? And they also keep their hands a lot closer to the target than people realize. Like when Max Holloway's doing all this shit, like there's a purpose to this. Yeah, because when he sees that opening, it's just whop. It's like whop, right there, real quick, and those things add up. Look at Ortega's eye right now.
But that's the reason though Max can't move up. Because you can't be a volume. It's very hard to be a volume striker unless you got great head movement, a la Floyd Mayweather. He's a volume striker with great head movement.
Right.
It's hard to move up and be a volume striker with no power.
But the good thing about Holloway is he only does it when he knows he can get away with it. Like he'll keep his guard close when he knows. Like when he saw Ortega started countering and catching him with that right hand too, he's like, all right, let me keep my guard up. Let me dip out. Let me dip out of the way after I throw my 1-2.
Yeah, but like for instance, somebody that's like I'm not trying to say Max out elite, but like a elite striker does some Jared Hurd shit. Like last week, he's like literally trying to get a spar session whole pay-per-view. Oh, you trying to make this a fight? Hold up, bro. Bam. Yeah. That's how you do. That's what you do on the elite striking. I know it's comparing apples and oranges, but there's nobody in MMA that I've seen that can do that. Can sit there and like, okay, this is a 2-0 fight. Okay, you made it slow to competitor, bro. Pow.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy to see that in person last week.
Yeah, man.
Why'd you get rid of him, Jared? Man, he was trying to make it a little competitive. I have to go in that. I was getting hit a little too much.
Exactly. It must be so special to know. Like, this is also what I was talking to you about afterwards. Like, you know, the difference between MMA and boxing is like in boxing, guys will take those fights and nobody really blinks an eye at it. Like if Max Holloway was to go and say, hey, I want to go fight Darren Elkins next. Everybody be like, what?
Because UFC not gonna pay them.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean you want to fight Darren Elkins next?
Because UFC's not gonna pay them.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's the differences between boxing and MMA. You know, where boxers, high level boxers, can go take these fights against these guys. You know, just for it be like a local fight, a stay busy fight, whatever have you, and nobody bats an eye at it because it just gets them closer to the next big pay-per-view fight.
Stay with the boxing thing. Talk to Deontay Wilder. We gonna get him on before the end of the year. I just don't know when. He's about to go on vacation. He doing the LA championship tour and all that good stuff. Shout out to the champ. And I got some inside information. I got told by somebody very close to him, and he just laughed. He didn't say no to book a trip to either New York or Vegas in May, round 2 for the rematch. I will be there regardless of what state it is. I'll be charting the plane once again.
Can't wait for it, man. Can't wait for it.
But they are doing the rematch immediately, and it will be in May.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's going to be a hell of a fight, just like the first one was. Just like the first one was. You remember my conspiracy theory I told you about the 12th round knockdown? My theory is that Tyson Fury was not that hurt by that punch. It obviously hurt him. It obviously put him on his butt. But there's a difference. Like you can get blindsided with the punch that literally puts you on your ass and not knocks you out. Like that happens. I think it was one of those shots like that to where it was like, okay, that shit hurt, and it knocked me on my ass. But I think maybe his eyes rolled back for like a split second. You know, you get that flash knockout type thing. But then like when he woke up, he was on his back. He's like, all right, let me gather myself for a second. And then when he saw that ref do that 6, he's like, okay, let's go.
Who's now later?
Now later is always listening.
Yeah, shout out to him. That's her name, Cecilia Breaker. I couldn't look up the top of my head. She saw Cyborg and was like, where's she at? Like most people be like, Cyborg. Still, I'll fight her.
Yeah.
And this lady's like the most accomplished boxer right now. Clarissa Shields to me is better, but this lady's been doing it for like 12, 13 years. They got like 10 belts, never lost.
Yeah. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Let's make it happen.
But I think she's a little too small. A little too small for Cyborg.
Hey, as long as the crossover fight makes sense, I'm for it. Why not? Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. I don't want to see Max Holloway fighting Mayweather. I don't want to see Mayweather fighting Tension. like he is, or this televised.
He said he's never fight MMA. You hear him say, he said, I'm not no damn degenerate.
What we're seeing with this Floyd Mayweather intention thing is literally a televised 30% sparring match. And people will pay for it. So if I'm not knocking the hustle. If you can do it, get away with it. Why not? Make your money, man. I'm not mad at it. What was I was gonna say something before we got up on that. Oh man, I forgot. I lost my train of thought.
You got distracted like that?
Yeah, I did. It's freaking Floyd Mayweather intention.
Hey, people, we probably be back to
always be in control.
we be back to having guests next week. Got some behind the scenes things working. Holidays, people's schedules are tight. Some of these people get ready for the fight.
Yes.
We don't mess with people on fight week.
Not only that, but we were working on a special project right before we went live on YouTube today as well. So if you guys follow us on social media, again, handles right there on the screen. Stay tuned to our social media as we might have something special for you guys coming up soon if you are a fan of other sports. So
we're going the show. Going the brand.
Growing another show. Ooh, how about that? So what we'll do now, I think we covered all the important stuff. Oh, no, we did not. I must speak on this before we go off the air. Very disturbing thing happened in the MMA community. News came out this week, right before the fights, or the day before the fights. There was a certain MMA reporter.
Loser.
That's to put it mildly. Was caught with a copious amount of child pornography. Immediately took the L and got fired from his job with a very prominent MMA outlet. And listen, if you know what I'm talking about out there, don't try to paint us all in this light that all of MMA media is a certain thing. No, this was one individual who did some fantastic reporting. I mean, he was great at what he did when it came to reporting on his specific area of expertise in PEDs. But the thing, man, listen, if you get caught with child porn, man, bro, it's over for you. You're done. You're done now. You're done now. It's over.
See, you don't need to be worried. You don't need to be worried about about reporting. You can worry about keeping your ass out of jail.
Exactly. And don't go after all these other reporters that knew him and were friends with him and whatever.
Yeah.
Like
it's not their fault that he had to go see Chris Hansen. It's not their fault.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's they had no idea. So, you know, and all these other people out there, like I've seen some of the dumbest hot takes in the world surrounding this thing, talking about how, oh, if this was an MMA fighter, every website in the world would have had something out about this. Well, yeah, because we cover the fighters and we cover the sport of the MMA. We don't cover other journalists, for one. And also, there's also legalities going around about that, especially from, you know, the outlet that it was, or the outlet that he formerly was affiliated with. So, listen, don't paint us all in the same bucket. A lot of good dudes in this game. Everybody that's been on this show in the past, all the, you know, our journalism friends, all awesome dudes. Like, they're not coming on the show if they're not good guys. So, I mean, there's guys in the journalism game that we like. There's guys that we don't like. There's guys that, you know, hey, guy tried to start a fight with me one time. I mean,
I had nobody try that would be throw a two-piece on them. But I will say this: a lot of people are professional.
So weird.
They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
But for this game to evolve, people got to look at. I don't even call myself a journalist. I'm just a storyteller. I'm just do my thing. Storyteller.
Shout out to Luke Thomas's rant the other day.
But a lot of people got to look at it from this perspective. The same stuff that gets condoned or disallowed or allowed in other sports, there's a reason they've been around, and there's a reason they're worth $10 billion. So if we're going to get journalist associations and stuff like that, we should go by the proper channels for stuff that's established. Because, like, you talk about other sport, well, they've been around for 60 years. There's a reason they've been around for 60 years. And that's considered sport, working with PR teams, everybody working together to grow the show and the product, and being diverse with the sport. Like MMA, like, I cover the NBA, and it's a lot of brothers and stuff, but the people that are in that niche, they get the culture. here in MMA, we got Brazilian people, we got people from South America, North America, Europe, everywhere. It's like we got to find a way to incorporate the cultures on the media side of things to be able to make it so everybody can grow as one versus it's basically every person for themselves, but then we need to sit here and pretend like everybody's cool when that's not really the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
To make things better, I'm just trying to grow the show.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's some things that definitely could change, and
in a positive way.
I've seen positive things happen, even just in this week when we had the whole press conference thing where the guys were told not to ask or only ask questions about the fights coming up, and that was surrounding the whole Greg Hardy thing, which is another topic. Oh my God, the whole UFC putting Greg Hardy and Rachel Ostovich on the same card, which is just so tone deaf. Like, bro, like. It doesn't make sense. Like, I get it's the first ESPN card. You want to stack it, whatever. But, like, that's just a bad look. It's a bad look. Like, don't. And I get that those two stories are completely separate. The only thing that makes them remotely related is that they've had domestic violence in their past. One being the victim, one being, you know, the one committing all of the violence. But it's crazy. It's crazy.
The thing I will say though is this is the people that are appalled and stuff that in the media about that, they're more appalled than the consumer. The consumer don't give a shit. That's why Dana White them don't care. So it's like, I'm not saying you shouldn't care, but you got to look at the basis of the reality of the situation.
It's a PR thing. It's a PR thing is all it is. Like, yeah, like at the end of the day,
consumer people do not care. They're gonna be tuned in on ESPN Plus.
Right. It's a PR thing, and it's just a simple thing. Like, it's such a simple thing. Like, like if you're trying to pick out like what color, you know, you want the banner to be. Like, that's how simple it is. Like, come on. Like, you got a black backdrop. You should use a high contrast font on your black backdrop. Like, that's all it is. You know, it's that simple. But yeah, at the end of the day, the person that's turning on ESPN for the first time to watch fights isn't going to really know or care about that. And again, their stories are not connected in any way, shape, or form. Rachel said she's cool with it. If she says she's cool with it, everybody else should be cool with it. And just let them fight, let them do their job, let them go out their separate ways, and let them do their thing.
What choice does she have? She's probably fighting the highest profile person you can fight that's not a champion.
Well, the reason... What choice she had is very valid, and I do want to touch on that real quick before we get out of here.
That's like saying, like somebody telling your employee's like, you better do this, or what you gonna say? Nah, I'm good.
I don't see. People were saying like Dana probably called her and was like, you know, basically inferring that you're gonna take the fight or whatever. I don't know if I
gotta have receipts before I say that.
Yeah, I
can't say that.
I'm not gonna go on that.
No,
assumption.
Me neither.
I will go on the assumption that hey, maybe Rachel needs money. How about that? I mean, she probably didn't even think twice about it. Like, regardless, she probably didn't even care. Yeah. Like I could probably see Rachel seeing this thing come across Twitter and be like, so, yeah, you know, like I don't care. Like I don't know Greg Hardy. Yeah. I've never talked to Greg Hardy. Like why should I be upset about Greg Hardy being on this card? Exactly. That was probably her real reaction. I'm not saying that it is. That would be I would assume that, and I would be okay in assuming that, but. I mean, again, it's just a simple PR thing. Like, come on, dude. Like, if Rachel Ostovich had been a victim of domestic violence like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, literally not last week.
Probably didn't even cross her mind. And then some fools on Twitter were blowing up about it.
Yeah.
Props to Aaron Bronson for asking the questions, and Luke Thomas, he did a good piece on it on his show.
Yeah.
But the MMA media, boy, that's the stuff that evolves. As someone that covers more than one sport, it's very weird being up in it. Just like there's some positives, some negatives. Right. It's just I get more frustrated than Matt behind the scenes, but it is what it is. Like that's the theme of the weekend. It is what it is.
Right. And one last thing before we get out of here on Greg Hardy himself. Everybody who's been on Twitter,
leave that man alone.
I'm talking on Twitter, talking about how he never really like apologized and all that kind of stuff. When we had him on this show, one of the very few shows he's done since he's been in MMA, I think actually one of the only ones. But when I asked him about it, it was one of the things like his interview's going great. Cool dude talking about everything, and I was like, man, we're not getting this interview without me asking him about it. So I asked him about it. And he's of the mindset of, I'm completely leaving that dude in the past. Like, he doesn't even want to think about it, and he's just focusing on his future. And I'm just saying that that's the route that he's taking. Do I think personally that he should probably do more, you know, make some appearances, donations, you know, charity things for victims of domestic violence? Absolutely. But if he wants to go down that path of, I'm completely trying to forget about that part and not revisit that, that's the decision that he's made. So, you know, take that for what it is. I don't think we're ever going to hear him say flat out, yeah, I regret what I did. You know, not to say that he's a dude that still thinks about that kind of thing or doing that sort of thing again in the future. I'm just saying, as he told us, he was like, I'm not even trying to think about that stuff anymore. I'm focusing on the man who's got a family with kids and trying to grow up now. So that's just where he is on that. For people that did not see our interview with him,
check the catalog.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube channel, so go check it out if you guys want.
I guess because I text with him back and forth here and there.
Yeah,
good guy, made a mistake. I trip out. Everybody talk about
not just a mistake. He royally fucked up.
but here's the thing, though. Yeah, he messed up. I'm not trying to down or side with him or anything like that. But I trip out when people's like, well, we're all about giving second chances. And then when it comes to get a second chance, you want to dictate how somebody gets a second chance or how they should respond to getting a second chance. So just give them a damn second chance and see what happens. I don't get that. That's bullshit to me.
Listen. I'm not gonna argue too hard, especially if there's.
I'm not trying to say what he did was right. I'm not condoning nothing.
Sure.
But you're like, well, we're all about second chances. But then all these people like, why he fighting the UFC? I kind of got a problem with it, but I'm cool. I've heard that multiple times. Like.
Yeah, and I get the reason, you know, the reason why people don't think he deserves a chance is because people look up to people that are in the limelight, that have a stage to go out there and perform, you know, in an athletic thing. People look up to athletes, so I can see why a lot of people that have been involved in domestic violence don't want to see a guy like that have that opportunity to become a star. So I get that whole idea. But like you said, man, a second chance is a second chance. He already lost untold millions of dollars by losing his career in the NFL. So outside of him just basically coming out and saying flatly, I'm sorry, or doing more charitable things, like I said, I don't think we will see. Again, I don't agree with that, but that's just where it is, man. And if you're going to have a second chance, if any other second chance in an athletic sport, wouldn't you want it to be a fighting sport where you get to see him potentially knocked out?
but I'll go back a little bit to the left. So he basically, like I said, lost millions of dollars,
untold millions Let's be real, though. Let's be real. If he didn't have the domestic violence thing, he would have been in the UFC last year after the Dana White Contender Series fight.
You don't have to tell me that.
He probably wouldn't even have had to do that. He probably
why is it a story, though?
He probably would have got Brock Lesnar.
Why is it a story, though, when one of the person that's considered the GOAT of the sport, they had kids out of wedlock, did damn near kill somebody, you never know. They done everything you're not supposed to do and got not one, not two, but three chances. So there's to put it in context, there's a standard already existed. So why people so up in arms?
There's a lot of moral gymnastics that people do in this.
Exactly. I'm not trying to put one higher than the other, but it's like it's proven.
It's tough. It's tough. There's no right or wrong answer. I mean, like, listen, if you want to sit in front of me, like, people, if you're watching this and you're listening, be like, Greg Hardy's a piece of shit. I'd be like, I get it. I mean, I get it. I get why you feel that way. But I'm not going to argue with it. I'm not going to say, no, he's a good dude. Like, no. Like, hey, I get it.
But it goes back to what we always go back and forth behind the scenes. So is this a sport or is this entertainment? That's really what it comes down to.
I mean, it's both. Like I said, it's a hybrid of both. Man. Hybrid of both. Crazy times in this game. It's only going to get crazier from here. Yeah. I'll just say this, man. You know, MMA rears its ugly head in so many disgusting ways, so many times. Like, it's from everything that happened this week to all of the amazing things that happened this week as well, with the 2 title fights. Max Holloway showing why he, you know, the Blessed Express has left.
I mean, said Blessed Express. Next stop is T-City.
I loved it. His one-liners, man. He comes up with the best one-liners. I love it. But yeah, let's end that on a high note, man. Shout out to Max Holloway. Shout out to Valentina Shevchenko getting their hand raised. And new and still, UFC 231 was fun. UFC 232 closing out the year. Can't wait for it. And RIP to HBO Boxing.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much that like set my fandom. Like, I watched a lot of De La Hoya's fights. De La Hoya was on there 32 times, they said. Roy Jones was on there 32 times. I saw De La Hoya in Trinidad. I saw my first fight I ever covered was Canelo and Trout. It was on HBO, so it was kind of crazy, like how much that shaped my fandom.
Yeah.
It was one of the best calls of all time when Pacquiao got his ass dropped by Marquez. He not getting up, Jim. He not getting up, Jim.
Ooh, yeah, that was such a nasty knockout. Yeah, HBO Boxing, man, it definitely has a place. If you're a boxing fan, obviously there are a lot of amazing fights that.
Just the intros alone, they played it in the montage last night.
Yes.
I'm like, I remember listening to that like back in elementary and high school.
Yeah, a lot of good times, man. But it's time to, I guess, jump in the zone.
Showtime. Shout out to Steve Espinosa. We're gonna get him on the show. They take care of me good at Showtime.
I tossed you a softball and you didn't hit it. You didn't hit it. I said it's time for the zone. You're supposed to say "see." Come on, I laid one up. I gave you the alley-oop. I gave you the alley-oop.
I speak English.
I gave you the alley-oop. Oh man, it's all good. That's what it is, people. Episode 80 is in the books. Live on YouTube. We will have more guests next week. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the fights this weekend. Please subscribe to the show. Likes on YouTube, likes on iTunes. Please leave a review on iTunes. Quick 5-star review on iTunes. Just helps the visibility, gets more listeners, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. And until next week, we will see you guys later. Peace.